Yo, 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 yo. It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Each one teach one. Each one teach 1,000. Reporting live from the Dogon. Salute, salute, salute. You know what it is. Yeah. This is a real impromptu session of Mac minutes. Excuse me. I was rewatching the movie Dope, the one with ASAP Rocky. Who else? Who else was in it? ASAP Rocky. Dang, I can't remember. He's the main one. ASAP, I can think of. ASAP Rocky, Vince Staples. But there's a scene in there where ASAP Rocky is having a conversation with Tyga. To give context, and go watch Dope. Dope is a dope movie. No pun intended. Go watch Dope. Dope. Context. It takes place like in the early. It came out in 2015, but it takes place like in the, I guess mid 2000s, but maybe 2012, something like that. And they're in Inglewood, California. But I'm not gonna get into all that. Basically, there's a scene where ASAP Rocky's a dope dealer, Tyga's a dope dealer, and they're talking. There's a scene where the two are talking, and Tyga is playing clips from drone shots. You know, a drone is just basically it's a radar sensor that's smart, and it follows its target and then bombs on the target, kills it. And they were playing clips, and Tyga was basically like, "Man, I thought Obama was a bitch, man, but he was using drones, man. Drones are pretty gangster, man." And then ASAP Rocky goes as far to say, like, man, he was like, a lot of Americans got killed, or a lot of innocent people got killed in proxy to those drones being dropped. And then ASAP Rocky went even further. He was like, man, you never know. One day they'll start saying we're the terrorists. And they'll start dropping drones off on Crenshaw. And I thought that was very perceptive. And it actually shows a lot of foresight. Fast forward to 2021, well, 2020, well, we're in 2022 now, but in 2021, I started reading things, coming across articles saying that the government, at least the police force, they would start to consider gangbangers to be terrorists. So in a way, what ASAP Rocky said was kind of like a prophecy. You know, they may try to say, okay, and even Tupac said it before him. Tupac said at some point the government is going to turn its guns away from, Iraq and all these other places, and they're going to start pointing it towards the black and brown youth. And I guess I want to say they're going to start classifying gangbangers as terrorists. And I know it's like, what is a terrorist? By definition, a terrorist is a person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Everything is political, like Huey said. Everything is political. People always want to say, I'm a soldier in my set. And I guess when you really look at it, even though gangs started off with good intentions as far as protecting the community, looking out for people, things, what have you. It started off with a good premise. It has since, and you could even say through the government involvement, specifically the crack era, but it has since mutated into something that's very destructive. I'm not saying all gangbangers are bad people. I know some people who are active gangbangers that are good people, and actually want to get out the life. But the fact of the matter is, when you're repping your hood and you're repping your set, some people, they're intimidating the civilians of their community. People are scared to go to school. People are scared to go to the grocery store. Innocent people get hit, murdered, over stuff that they had nothing to do with. I've always felt like, gang banging could be turned into a positive, where if you're part of that set, and I know this is wishful thinking probably, but it could be like on some Fruit of Islam stuff, some FOI stuff, where you're taught how to fight. You're taught martial arts. You're taught how to use a handgun. You're taught how to use weapons. You're taught about politics. You're taught about economics. You're taught about how to be an asset in your community and move with a certain level of decorum, something that uplifts your community. So kind of like really Fruit of Islam and Black Panther is kind of intertwined. I know there's some Pirus used to say Piru stood for Panther in red uniform. I always thought that was cool, but what if it really became that? You know, where we really protected our communities, we looked out for our people, and it kind of reminds me of Tupac's Thug Life mantra, where one of the things was we have a safe zone. You know, there's no violence, no rapes, no murders, nothing goes down in this area in our community. You know, and there's a decorum, like you don't attack kids, you don't attack women, you don't attack the elderly. And he was saying if you're selling drugs, if you're hustling, you got to pour back into your community. Build a community center. Help kids go to college. Because if not, you're just raping the community. You know what I'm saying? You're raping the community. And you know, right now they already got gang injunctions. A lot of this stuff started off in LA, but it's kind of starting to migrate across the country with the gang injunctions. Basically, you can't abode or assemble together. And you know, if there's more than two of y'all, like y'all can't kick it. You can't just post up on the block. And sometimes that becomes a slippery slope because it could be a thing where, oh, we're all black. Oh, we're in a gang. It can be assumed. Then you got gang enhancement. So it's like you could commit a crime, but once they find out that you're an active gang member, they'll add more time to it. Like you could be, I don't know, you could have caught a pistol charge. Not registered. You know, that might be 5 years, but then they find out, oh, you're a gangbanger. They'll add 10 on top of that. So 15 years. And I guess the premise is to deter people from gangbanging, but clearly it's not working. And all they're doing is really capitalizing off, they're turning those gangbangers into slave labor. We know, what was it, the 13th Amendment? Was it the 13th Amendment? Let me see. It abolished slavery as far as chattel slavery, but it kind of pretty much made it legal to be a slave to enslave people as long as they were like prisoners. So you basically go from gangbanging to being turned into cheap labor. Yeah, this is no judgment. I'm not on no Charleston White shit, even though some of the stuff he says is valid, but it comes across kind of coonish. But yeah, look at the whole situation with Young Slime Life, Young Thug. I mean, the whole set is like turning on itself. People are turning into informants. You know, it's all good when you're making money and you're sticking your chest out. But at the end of the day, what are we really doing? We're killing our own people. You know, like, I don't want to get into too much detail, but, you know, there were a lot of bodies dropping. A lot of stuff was going on. And I guess it's like, what are we really standing on? To me, what's gangster is protecting your community. What's gangster is uplifting your community. What's gangster is nation building. You know, cooperative economics, group economics, becoming self-sufficient economically, politically, socially, being politically minded. That's gangster. You know? But yeah, if you're an active gangbanger and you're watching this is no judgment. I'm just saying move with a purpose. Because I really think we're going to get to a point where, and it's already going down, but I think it's going to become more intensified, where you won't be just viewed as a gangbanger that needs to be talked to, or let's take them to Scared Straight. No, they're going to think you're a lost cause, and they're going to try to knock your ass off. That's what it's going to turn into. No different than they would do from the Taliban. What does it say? I defined what a terrorist was. Hold up. Let me find it. Well, in the Constitution, it talks about going after, you know, enemies, both foreign and domestic. Y'all will be the enemy. Your culture will be weaponized against you indiscriminately. So I'm just thinking, let's shift the narrative. Let's shift the culture. If you're a vice lord, pyro, Crip, whatever you're doing, let's move with a purpose. You know, because and the thing that's crazy is, you know, you have government informants, snitches or whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm from my set, I'm ride or die. But when they start looking at the numbers, people start cooperating. When I say numbers, jail terms, prison sentences, you know, and it's like, you're not really in control. They're controlling you. They're going to let you get, but so far, the feds have over a 90% conviction rate. It's for a reason. People turn informants. Even the money that you make when they incarcerate you, they'll steal it and repossess all your stuff. So it's like, at what point, what is this? What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, man. Again, this is no judgment. I'm not condemning anyone. I'm just saying, let's self-reflect, look at what we're doing, and move accordingly. Let's move smart. Let's build. I mean, what Nipsey had this song, or was it first? I can't remember the name of the song, but he had a line in there where he's like, you know, self-destruction ain't the only way. And that's all I'm saying. Self-destruction ain't the only way. We gotta tighten up, man. Nation build. It's nation time. But it's the homie MACK, music, art, culture, knowledge. Each one teach one, peace and love. Notice D does not stand for Denver Lane. In case you were wondering, I'm just from the D, from Detroit. But yeah, just as, you know, speaking of black men, I want to speak to my brothers. We have to look at each other as assets into one another. We have to build some type of code amongst one another, some type of decorum, some type of bylaws, and how we're going to function amongst each other. Because our babies are suffering from our beefs. Our families are suffering from our beefs. Our women are suffering from our beefs. There has to be a paradigm shift, because, you know, black on black, you know, I know people, black on black violence is somewhat of a misnomer, but I want to use it in this context. Black people killing other black people, gangbangers killing other gangbangers. You boost the economy for the justice system, for the courts, the law, the courts, the jails, the officers. You have turned your destruction into an economy that benefits people outside of your community. So muse over that. But it's the homie MACK signing out from the Dogon. Each one teach one. I'm out. Thumbs up. Give me the likes.